Hi, good morning. I'm Dr. Sri Sastri, working as a professor in the Department of Aeronautical Engineering, Institute of Aeronautical Engineering, Hyderabad. Today, I'm in material testing laboratory. Here, this mission is to conduct this chalk test and iodide test of the given material we are using. So, why we want to conduct this chalk test and iodide test for this particular material is, so each and every material is having some strength. So that strength we have to find out by conducting different experiments. So this is one of the experiments. By using this one, you can find out what is the toughness of the material. So that is the mechanical properties of the material. So we know that material is having different properties, that is chemical properties, physical properties, mechanical properties, electrical properties, magnetic properties, like that. So in this laboratory, we are going to test that mechanical properties. So what are the mechanical properties of this materials is, that is stiffness, malleability, hardness, ductility, toughness. So these are examples like that, different mechanical properties are there. So these mechanical properties, by using this mission, we can find out what is the toughness of the material. So what is the importance of this toughness of the material is, suppose if you want to withstand for dynamic loads, vehicle is moving on the road or aircraft is moving because of the air pressure differences, different loads are acting on the body. So that loads are called dynamic loads. So for the dynamic loads, the material is, its resistance is offering for the dynamic loads. Then you can say this one is that material is having enough toughness, enough strength for that. So in that toughness you can find out by conducting two types of tests. One is isoid test and the Charpy test. So here the same, we are using the same machine. By using this scale, if you consider this scale, that one we are calling as the isoid test. We consider this one is called Charpy test. So first of all, this mission, how we are using. So it means this mission we are using to apply the loads and to hold the workpiece. So here, this is the workpiece holder. Here workpiece holder is there. So in this, we are keeping this workpiece and uh, so that it will be hold properly. And you have to, if you want to apply the loads, here we are using this one is just like a big hammer. This one we are calling as a hammer, like this one is hammer. So just you are kept like this at 90 degrees. Then if you release it, so immediately this hammer will go and hit the component, so that suddenly it will apply the load. So because of that sudden load, how much energy is required to break that workpiece, we can note down here on the scale. We can directly note down here. And this one, if you keep this hammer at this position, so now potential energy, if you release this one, this potential energy is converted to kinetic energy, and the velocity with the high velocity, the pendulum, just like a pendulum type, it is there, this hammer, so it will oscillate like this, it will move, it will rotate like that. So while rotating this kinetic energy, it is using to break that component. So suppose if you want to stop this one here, brake is there, hand brake is there, here is the hand brake. If you apply like that, so you can stop the oscillations of this pendulum, oscillations of the pendulum. Okay. Now you have to prepare the workpiece for this. How to prepare the workpiece is here. This one is the workpiece. You have taken a square cross section. So this is square cross section you have to keep in this. But if you keep like that, what will happen if you apply load? So there is, this one is just like a prismatic bar. The prismatic bar, if you apply the loads, then all the material is same dimensions. So this breakage will be difficult. Breakage, to break this component, that is very difficult way, because there is no particular scratch point is not there or notch is not there. So in that case, if you apply that load, instead of breaking, the component bending will take place. That's why if the bending is taking place, it will stuck on that component, on that tool holder, and then you will not get correct readings. That's why to avoid that one, what it is here, one notch you are provided on notch here, notch. So we removed some material here, so that if you keep workpiece like this, why? Because force is applying this direction. So this notch compulsory it should be opposite to the force applied. Then if you apply the force, already here notch is there. Along this notch, crack initiation will take place. Then fracture will take place. Then this breakage of the workpiece is very easy. And one more thing is breakage will occur only at this particular point, not other points. So that easily we can calculate how much area this may remaining, how much area is there for that particular area of the cross section, how much is the energy is required to break that workpiece. Everything you can note down by using this isoid scale. That is our main aim. Okay. Now see here, which area you have to consider. See here in this direction, if you want to calculate this cross section area, this dimension multiplied with this dimension, that will give the cross section area of this one. But you should not use this cross section area. Why? Because here already we have removed some material. Here removed some material means this is some dimension. This one is less dimension compared to this one. That's why we have to consider only this dimension. So after notch, what is the material connectivity is there? So that dimensions multiplied by this dimension will give the cross sectional area at that particular notch. Then this cross section only we have to consider. Why? Because if you want to calculate the stresses and all, the load divided by cross sectional area. So this is the cross sectional area we have to consider, not this one. That is the precaution you have to take. Okay. Now see here how to fix this one on the how to conduct the experiment. Okay. So here this one is tool holder. Here one wedge shape plate is there. So if you keep this wedge shape like that, and easily you can identify, see this notch is there here. So in this notch you can keep like this, and you have to tight this screw, and then this one is exactly parallel to this notch is exactly parallel to the surface. So why? Because this hammer, it is coming and striking exactly on this particular point. So here only at this particular point only notch that striker should strike. Suppose if any difference is there, gap is there, what will happen? From this one is force is acting in opposite direction. If you apply this force at this particular point, then this load into this distance, it will movement or additional movement will be created. So we cannot take the readings properly. That's why where this support is there here, reaction support is there here. So exactly if you apply the load in this particular point only, then we can calculate what is the that is we can consider as a force. So otherwise it will be created, it will convert to the movement. If any gap is there, that one it will convert to the movement. But we want only force. That's why exactly at this particular point only we have to apply the force. That's why this edge shape is there, no? So this one you are keeping here like this properly. You are keeping here properly, and then you are tighten the nut, and then this one is exactly parallel to this one. That is the precaution you have to take. Now this one dummy needle. This needle adjusted with this one 168 joules. Okay. Now if you release, this one is a safety. For safety only, we are keeping this hanger type. Or because suppose something in the liver, if it is like that, so immediately it will come and hit. That's why we are keeping this one like this for safety purpose only. Now here I am removing this one, and I am releasing this one. If it is released, immediately this hammer will come and hit on the workpiece, so that you can take how much energy is absorbed to break the component. You can note down on the readings from this scale. I'm not doing here. Just observe here. now I have removed this workpiece from this one. So see, fracture is taking place like that. See here, this one is the area, cross section area. This is the here. You see, this is the area, and this area I have to calculate for that. Now correspondingly, you can take the reading here. So from here to here, you can consider that is around 125 joules. So 125 joules energy is absorbed by this material. So that we can calculate with the different cross sections. Like that, we can conduct some 3-4 experiments, and then you have to take the average value. So that average value we can consider for this cross section of the member, for this material, mild steel material, and EN8 material is actually EN8. So for this material, so this much, for this dimension, this much energy is required to break that component. Similar way, different components, different size, shapes also you can conduct, and all the values you have to take the average value, and finally you can conclude this one. This much is the energy is required to break this type of components for this particular material. Thank you very much.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.